Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Big Diddy Cool Sassy. Did he or did he not? We get a 3-lander to kick things off. We're loaded with our removal and a mana artifact. The helm will need some time before we have something to copy, but this looks fine. Keep your pants on. They passage out a forest, and we can't help but think they might be on landfall. Our surveil land shows us a verge on top. We like to get to 5 mana on schedule, so we'll keep it. No, wait, they are Gruely. That's an Esper Origins they're firing off. They must not realize it's their turn. Hello? Anybody home? Another Esper Origins, padding their life total for our future turns. Smart move, bro. We draw a Dawnsire, which we'll be able to play out next turn thanks to the scroll. They activate their passage. The cards they surveilled and left on top must not have been that important. Finally, a real play, although it's nothing to be too concerned about. A green Overlord will take some time before it becomes a problem. We've got nothing spectacular either. We'll drop the helm on in. We'll be prepared if we end up using the 3 steps ahead to make a copy of something. Thinking is not their strong point. Come on, bro. They drop in another green Overlord, this one for its full price. It's a minor shark mass miracle. We draw a factory outlet. And we'll have the mana to play out the factory and a gunship as well. On top, we have a Mechanozoa and an Aetherize. We do like both, and we'll keep them in that order. Time to drop in the gunship. It'll generate a Robot Overlord, and we'll have the right amount of damages to shove their Overlord into an early grave. Then we can use our AI to station the gunship, and we'll be sending in the heat on our next attack. They flash back their origins, and this time around they get a 4/4 body. And they draw another green Overlord. That Origins will make a fine blocker. Surely we can move the game along at a faster pace than this. Last time I checked, ramping never killed anyone. We could play out our Mechanozoa, but let's see if they'll block up first. They think about it, but let the hits go through. We'll pass the turn. One of our biggest and best plays can be made at instant speed. That's 10 mana they have to work with. They can double green Overlord and we can slug it out. If you have to take this much time to think about what move to make, maybe try running your deck through Sparky a few times so you have a better idea of which plays work best. Seriously. They play out an Uprising, and it will give their men trample and they'll get to draw as well, but their men will likely end up being the smaller men on board. All yours, bro. They power out an Ugin, and that is a surprise. And of course they want to take out our factory outlet. That's fine. We'll just make a token copy of it first. On top, we have our Aetherize and an elevator. It's likely we won't need the defensive spell, but we might be able to make use of the elevator.
If my interventions required. Then so be it.
They play out a smelf, but we already know what they're cooking. They are fully tapped, and the only decision point is whether to send it or not. And we know they can't, but this still takes them a year and a half to decide. Their first green overlord comes online, but now is when we show off our duplication trick. On top, we have our elevator and an island. We'll take both, but maybe we should grab the island first. We should be able to take them down on our turn. First up, we'll slap the mecha on down. It's going to tap down one of their men. Let's make sure their overlord doesn't get a chance to get in the way. Then we'll play out our second gunship and use it to send their origins on a trip they won't return from. Smell you later. Now we ignore Ugin and deliver this shipment right to the face. Shipping is always free. Also GG's, Overlord cheese. This is Diaboli Call. Bro, you spelled your name wrong. Oopsie poopsie. We get a 3-lander with a factory, a Tannuk, and a way to make a synthesizer copy. The Dreadnought is here as well. It can help end games quickly. Keep your pants on. Please tell me it's not another slow-mo. Hold on, here we go. We draw the God Core and we'll play it out first. We'll be set for our third and fourth turns. They drop in a helpful hunter. It could be the start of some Sephiroth shenanigans. We draw another Tannuk, but you know, we can't even play out the first one. They play out and assemble the players. But we've already assembled bro. Wait, did they miss a land drop? No, they do have a third land. We draw a Surveil land, which will give us a second red, but this turn belongs to our Synthesizer. On top, we have a Verge and an Aetherize. We already have 5 lands, but the Verge does enter untapped, which is huge. Let's keep these both and in that order. They go with an Enduring Innocence, so they'll be able to keep the cards flowing. But if all they have are small men, they're going to find it's like trying to swim uphill. They drop in a commando? Sure, we could counter it, but this way we'll get a Robot Overlord out of the deal. They immediately sacrifice it to snipe our factory outlet. Luckily, we can make an instant copy and preserve the already low prices. On top, we have a second synthesizer beneath the Aetherize. We'll move the factory to the top. They send in their sheepy, but we're not blocking. Our Robot Overlord will end up much larger in no time at all. Their men will be outclassed and they'll be forced to be defensive. We'll play out the Dawnsire, then send in our AI. Amazingly, they send it. Must be a sweeper coming up for them. Let's see it. What a surprise. Rebuilding our board won't be difficult, but all they've got is tiny men to look forward to. Our Surveil land shows us a needle on top. We'll keep it. it could tap down a critical blocker. We'll play out Tannuk, then station up. Warping in a synthesizer, then playing it again later seems kind of cracked. They eyeball our Tannuk, then dispatch the poor soul. Where he's going, there is no coming back, and he's taking all other copies out with him too. On the plus side, they did give us another synthesizer and a scroll, if only they could see the oopsie-poopsie they made. When life gives you factories, just crank out the Robot Overlords. On top we have a scroll and a 3 steps ahead. We'll keep both, but let's take the instant synthesizer first. They are in for a world of hurt. Let's station up, then we can send in the Dawnsire for some beatings. That's the majority of their life about to go down poop chute. Damages, bro, damages. It's time for another sweeper. A commando isn't going to get the job done. They took out our stuff, but we're on the doorstep. They play out an agent. It's not as good as the ones in the Matrix. This guy isn't even a road bump. They drop in a witch. Sephiroth confirmed. 1-1 bodies don't cut it in this fight. Let's get in there. They immediately poop it and scoop it. GG's. Extra cheese. This is ice-cold emerald. Do you need a sweater, bro? How about a blanket? We get a 3-lander with double factory, a Tannuk, and a scroll. This is solid as long as the opponent doesn't get off to a fast start. Keep. The opponent gets a ley line, and then follow up with a Tranquil Cove. They also go down to only 5 cards in hand. We draw an Aetherize, which could save us from giant men that get bigger when they gain life. They play out a case. The life gain is coming. They've not played out any threats, so we're scheduled to being able to keep up with their men when they start playing them out. They play out another case. Surely they built this deck to do more than gain life. They follow up with Halia, the female Hal. I want to blow you out of the airlock, Dave. They go up to 28 life. I don't know how we're going to be able to do that much damage. We draw a 4th land. That's going to let us make an instant synthesizer. But first, let's get one in play. On top we have a God Core and a Needle. The Needle could be useful as it could tap down one of their bloated men while we smash in. We'll take the land too. It's all good. Here comes Halia again. This time she wants to stick around and party. We could play out the scroll, but getting our second factory down is probably best. On top we have a Helm under the Needle. The Helm is going to wreck them. We'll take it, but let's put it under the Needle. We need to generate a token synthesizer first anyways. They warp in a vocalist for the life gain triggers. Get bloated, bro. Enjoy all the life. It's at this point in time that I start to wonder if maybe they are playing that card that mills cards equal to their life total. We'd best keep them in check then. We'll play out the scroll and keep mana up for the Needle. Then we can station and send it for some damages. They're welcome to block if they want. They go with another life gain guy. It's like they plan on winning by having more life than anyone has ever seen before. Then they play a second one. Mono red isn't around anymore, bro. You don't have to make piles like this. They made a pile of life gain men, so we're going to make a pile of synthesizers and robot overlords. The helm with its map tokens will let our AI men get massive. Let's send it. This delivery is free and goes straight to the face. They fail to block and we drop them to 18. The mill plan has surely been derailed now. They warp in another vocalist. As long as they're having to play men just to survive, they're going to find it difficult to do whatever it is their deck does to win. They're going for a sheltered by ghosts, but we're not going to have any of that. Let them have what they have on board, but we also are keeping what we have. No need to do anything, we'll just get in there. This time, they are forced to block, but with our helm we can make sure they arrive in Pound Town. A little beat up, but they'll arrive. Oh wait, are they dead? I thought they were life gain. Didn't they gain enough? This is Carb Ion. He likes carbs, avoiding the sun and milk baths. Vitamin D misses you, bro. We get a 4-lander with only defensive measures. The 3 steps ahead we can use to dig through our deck, and we do have a Surveil land. It's an odd hand, but we'll give it a shot. Keep. We draw a synthesizer right away. Sharkmas comes early once again. Our Surveil land shows us a 3 steps ahead, and we'll keep it. That's 2 turns in a row we'll be generating a token factory. Is this feeble mono red? They try to make it work, but the struggle is real. Maybe mono green is even better than them at this point. They pump their guy, and before they can send it, we'll play out our needle. We'll slow them down a bit, maybe enough to buy us time to deploy our plan for world domination. We draw another needle, but it's time to get in there with our factory. On top, we have an onslaught and an elevator. With only 4 mana, we need to give up on one of these. The onslaught is great, but we already have a pair of copies coming, so we'll ship it. The elevator is extra triggers, so we'll keep it. They play out a heavy, in mono red land. A 3 toughness is a quote-unquote heavy. We hit 4 mana, and now it's time to find out how much they can take before we break them. They send everyone. We'll let them get their mobilize guy. We can't forget the token. This is a job for Aetherize. We'll be taking 0 damages this turn, at least from this attack. We draw another Aetherize, but holding them off won't kill them. We need to start generating Robot Overlords. They send it, and now is when we bring in an instant factory. Price is so low even mono red can afford them. On top, we have a Verge and a Scroll. Both will come in handy, so we'll keep them and in that order. We'll block up their 2/1. In a move that is very questionable, they sacrifice their Mobilize guy to help take out our first Robot Overlord. That's 2 men for the price of 1. And now they'll have a board of only 1 guy. Thanks, bro. The elevator would be fine, but let's make another instant factory outlet. Then on our next turn, we can play out the elevator, then use it to play the scroll. They replay their heavy, but it's going to end up a blocker before it ever gets to attack again. They pump up their Dreadnought, and they are likely thinking about the damages. But we've got a surprise. Say hello to my little friends. We know this is more than they can handle. Let's watch them squirm. We could play out the needle and tap down their 1 blocker, but their discomfort is what we're after. Maybe we can make them decide to toss this deck and pick up something else. You can see the wheels try to turn, but there's not enough power in hand to make full revolutions. Rest in peace, Mono Red. We'll smell you later. Hopefully not, but you never know. And that, my friends, wait, why are there dead goblins all over the floor? Is another satisfied customer.